Betway is like, it's like probably the most fucked up sport to ever exist. You can do headbutts, and like there's a rule. If you get knocked out, your coach has like 3 minutes to wake you up and get you back in the fight.
Wow.
And it's only legal in 3 countries. It's like Myanmar, Thailand, and Bangladesh, something like that. Only those 3 countries have it legal. And the greatest of all time is from Gatineau. Québécois, Dave Le Duc.
They're crazy, man.
Fucked up, huh?
Because the snow is because of the cold. Because of the cold.
The cold and the ancestry, you know.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was actually surprised when I first came to Montreal and then in Canada in general, how tough people are.
Yeah, especially in like my parents who came from ex-Yugoslavia, like first they immigrated in Ottawa, which is Ontario, and my dad, having grown up in Sarajevo, living there, born there, like, you know, the mentality is way different than here, right? The people, the lifestyles, everything is different. So my dad, when he saw how French Canadians act and how English Canadians act, he always thought that French Canadians were more similar to Eastern Europeans than English Canadians.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why when we arrived in Ottawa, we just switched to Gatineau because he wanted us to learn French and to be amongst French Canadians, like grow up amongst them.
No, it's good. I think that's obviously the English is more similar to the U.S.
Yeah.
Although I think that's what naturally attracted me to this. Once I visited, and that's what naturally attracted me to here was the French culture, right? And then also all the other European diversification here.
Yeah. Did you have any because you know you're growing up in the States and like people in America care way less about Canadians than Canadians care about Americans, because I mean America is like the center of the world, right? Everything revolves around America. So did you have any preconceptions about French Canadians? Like, did you ever hear something about them?
I didn't even. I'm so naive. I didn't even think about Canada ever.
Yeah, no, but I don't blame you. I mean, anyone in America, they don't really know what's happening in Canada. No one really cares. Yeah. And to be honest, like, I don't really follow politics, but I know way more what's happening in American politics than my own Canadian politics, because Canadian politics, the media is so low compared to American politics.
Right.
And I never lived there. I mean, I visited a lot of times, like New York, Miami, and all of that. But in America, it's just like everyone knows what's happening in America.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's everybody knows. Although, before I came here, I never really even thought about it, and until I started looking around for some other gyms to train at, and then one of my coaches at that time, he had a connection with Faraz here. Mm-hmm. And then, once I came here, I remember I don't know if you've ever been to TriStar or around that area that have, what's it called? They have a grocery store called Epicure. Is it Epicure? Yeah, it's like I think they're mostly Russian.
Okay. In
owners. So okay. Yeah. And although I started hearing, like, what is this language they keep people hearing besides the Russian? I was like, what is this other language? And it's French. And then I was like, okay, they speak French here.
Okay, you didn't know that we spoke French in Quebec?
Nothing, no.
Really?
I was like, man, I'm an idiot.
Okay. I'm pretty sure.
I was very just focused on my own life and training, and
I'm pretty sure like 90%, like I don't have a specific scientific number, but I'm pretty sure like 90% of Americans don't know that we speak French in Quebec.
You're probably right. Or maybe it's just us that don't know. I don't know.
I know. So, like, okay, but did you ever hear French from France? What it sounds like?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. Because it's very different. Like, Québécois French, it's like known to be very different and more rough and rugged.
More fast-paced.
More fast-paced than people from France. They, like, tend to believe that. Like, whenever I travel to France, they act like they don't understand what I'm saying, because whenever they're in Quebec, they understand me 100%. Then I'm like, wait, when I'm in France, you don't understand me, but when you're here in Quebec, you understand me well. I'm like,
they're trying to check you.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a little bit, what's happening here? Okay.
It happens to me too, even when I go to Bosnia. Well, at least once when I go visit there, Bosnia Herzegovina, I'm like, I want a croissant with Nutella. So that's not Nutella. To a chocolada. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Eurocreme.
Yeah. Then the next day I come back, I'll say, can I have the croissant with crema? It's not crema, it's Eurocreme.
I just want to check you. Yeah, that's also one thing, because me personally, I speak 3 languages, and in every single language, I have an accent. Every single language. So when I speak French amongst Quebecois, they always tell me, "Oh, where are you from?" Because they hear the little accent. When I speak English, where are you from? When I go back home to my parents, where they're from, when I speak Serbo-Croatian or Bosniak, whatever you call it, they say, "Oh, where are you from?" I never heard that accent. Like, where is it from? Then I'm like, "Oh, well, I guess it's from Canada, I guess, because I speak English and French."
Yeah.
So. But every single language, whenever I speak with people who are natives of that place, they're like, where's your accent from?"
Yeah, I get that sometimes here. I think it's more when, I don't really get it from the accent. I get it more from the name.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm Mirsad Bektic. Yeah, that's really.
Yeah, when they get like where was that from?
Yeah. Well, me, it's more my first name, because my first name has an I at the end. And that's really not Canadian or Quebecois. Like Quebecois, it's Andre. And English would be like Andrew. Like, like probably also you guys have it in America.
Yeah.
So like when they see my name, which is technically a Russian first name, Andrei with an I, they're like, "Oh, where's that from?" And they always say Delic, right? Delic. There's never Delic. Never Delic.
Yeah.
Always Delic.
You're better off. You're better off.
Yeah. They probably call you Bektic.
Yeah, big dick.
Oh, that's good then. That's good then. Okay.
Not an air yet.
Let's start it off, brother.
Yeah,
okay. Perfect. So already started. I mean, everything was rolling. No problem there. We talked about pretty much good stuff, right? Don't worry about it. Okay, so I want to start off. So you're born in Bosnia, which for people who don't know, that's in Europe. Srebrenica, the city in Bosnia. So for people who don't know, what did your immigration journey look like?
So my immigration journey. So I was born in obviously Srebrenica in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's the southeastern part of Bosnia, and so I don't know. I didn't spend much time there at all. Right, I was born, and then within the year the war started. So we had went to Italy. After a few years in Italy, went to Germany for 5 years, and after Germany, we moved to the United States.
And is there a reason why your parents didn't stay in like Germany or Italy? Because it's way closer to home.
Right. From my understanding is neither Italy. Well, I think Italy's immigration ended, so they didn't want immigrants there anymore. And then a similar situation in Germany, right? They weren't accepting refugees anymore, so it was either go back to Bosnia and Herzegovina or try to go to the embassy and apply to come to the U.S. So my mother chose the second option, right? So we went to the embassy. She didn't want to go back. So went to the embassy and to the U.S. embassy, and through like a Catholic social services system, whatever they had going on, they had sent us to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Nice. Yeah, and also like for people who don't know, but immigration laws on paper and also socially in America and in Canada, it's way different than in Europe, because in Europe there's like the rule of blood, and in America, Canada, in a way, everyone's an immigrant. Like if you look at it like in a way that, even people who are considered natives from like the English Canadians and the English Americans, they're also from an immigrant background. So it's like easier for them to accept immigrants than, let's say, Germany or Italy, from my understanding.
Yeah, exactly. From my understanding, I think more so now. Maybe it's easier to understand immigration now than it was than 10 years ago, because now you see immigration's I guess a big problem for many places. So
yeah, now it's like
especially especially in Europe, it seems as though they don't want any immigrants there.
Yeah.
So I get. I mean, thankfully, I'm very happy they didn't accept, because I came to the U.S. and now I'm in Canada, so I'm very happy that they obviously they didn't accept us.
Yeah, if you can just tell me quickly, like in your opinion, because you lived in Canada and America, and I see, like, whenever I travel to America, I see differences in people and in just society. What would you say were like when you came to Canada? What were like the biggest? Because people see, let's say, people from our country, Bosnia, Serbia, when they see Canada, when they see America, in their head, it's the same. Canada, America, to you, it's the same, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What would you say? Of course, yeah. What would you say are the biggest differences from what you lived in Canada and America, from people or just from life in general?
Yeah, I think the easiest and the best way to describe it is the lifestyle, right? I think compared to the U.S. The U.S. is, at least from my perspective, the U.S. is very go, go, go. 5 a.m. till 5 p.m. kind of mentality, versus Canada, and at least in Montreal, the life quality, it's more relaxed.
Okay.
My perspective, it's more relaxed. Yeah, just very easygoing. I find it's very easygoing. You have people get together more. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a bad description, I know. Although coffee shops and things are, restaurants, things are. Also, I think things are a lot closer in proximity wise, right?
In Canada?
So in the U, yeah,
Oh, really?
exactly.
Okay.
Well, I'm at least in Montreal. I haven't been too far much out of Montreal. I've visited Quebec City and all these places. Although, from my understanding, from my perspective, you have the public transport system here is amazing, right? You have the metro, you have the bus, you have the Bixies, you have a lot of ways to get to places, and people in generally walk more. If I find my perspective here, so I think the fact that things are in close proximity. You see people a lot more coffee shops, getting together, dinners. So yeah, I think that makes a difference. Just having the metro. I think just even having that metro, maybe that together with other. Sorry, it's a bad description.
No, it's actually really good. Like from what I saw, Quebec, especially in Canada, is more like a mix of America and Europe. They're more similar to Europeans than, let's say, Americans. For like you described, coffee shops, walking around, bikes.
Yeah, especially Quebec City. Yeah, Quebec City especially. It's very European. You have that the tightness, right? The buildings, the people, everything's in close proximity. So for me too, right? I enjoyed when I first came here. I enjoyed walking right to at least that's what I did. I took the metro places one stop at a time. I'd go one place, and I'd be afraid of getting lost, so I'd go back.
Yeah.
And then next time I went out, I'd go to a second metro station. I'm like, okay, I look around and I go back to the house. So I explore that way. So you have, so you have a lot more. I'd say you have a lot more different. Diversification of communities
in Montreal,
right? Yeah, like you have Chinatown, you have Little Italy, you have I don't know, the list goes on.
There's a lot of everything. I mean, there's very ethnic groups, Haitians, even a lot of Italians actually in Montreal.
Yeah, and proximity again. It's very close. Right, it's very close. Again, you don't need a car to live here.
Yeah, that's true.
At least Montreal. I don't know everywhere else. At least here.
Yeah.
You don't need a car to live. Like my wife and I, we share one car. I mean, if she goes away, sometimes she'll go away for a week or two for work, and I won't even use the car. I'll just take the metro or walk up the street. I have grocery. Where we live, we have grocery stores, cafes. Canal, we have all these restaurants within walking distance. So I lived in Florida, I lived in Nebraska. Although there are those places that you can walk to, although it's not so much of a thing to walk places. So I think that, again, go back to your first question, what do I see the difference of people, etc., and the culture. I think that invites a different kind of cultural aspect of it. So I'm not saying it's better for me. It's better, but that's not better for everybody else. I enjoy it. I enjoy the second language. I think that's it's nice having that diversification.
Of course, and French is a really nice language to learn.
It's cool. Yeah, it's like, wow. Okay, you want me to learn it? Okay, I'll learn it.
Yeah, and you learned it quite well, right?
Not bad. I don't think so.
Do you understand everything? Like, could you watch a French Quebecois movie?
Yeah, I can watch.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like, when you're in Montreal amongst French-speaking people, you're not out of place.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I catch on pretty quick and.
Yeah.
Oui.
Yeah, No, we.
Even before I didn't know anything, I just say we. My wife's like, stop saying yes.
Can you transfer me $10,000? We.
You first.
So you arrived in America when you were 8 years old.
Yes.
So when did you start MMA? At what age? And what did your childhood look like when you were just arrived in America?
Right. Well, the childhood it was a bit off. Probably wasn't it was a childhood I probably had in Europe, right? All over the place, and parents leave you to hang out and with your friends, and you come back home later. So it was more like that since my mother was working all the time. So we had a lot of freedom, little discipline. Although thankfully with sports such as karate, we got into that when I was 10 years old. Initially, after karate, I started boxing at 14. So that for a few years, I never really liked getting hit, and not that I didn't get hit, although I had that fear, or whatever. If it's fear, I think it's fear. It was fear of getting hurt or knocked out. So something about that I didn't like about boxing, right? Because I felt a lot of pressure.
Of course.
On myself. So eventually I stopped. I started lifting weights a lot. I got into bodybuilding. And then I had a friend of mine, somebody I looked up to, he was doing MMA. So I think that's when MMA started becoming really popular around 2008, 2009.
Yeah. And
then I'd go to the local sports bar and I remember we were watching, I think it was John Fitch versus GSP. And I was like, oh, wow, I can do that. And I went and tried my buddy's gym. I tried his gym, and I did really well. I was very athletic, and naturally, as a kid, I was always more aggressive, and I was better with this than hugging.
Yeah.
So I loved that tension that I got from the coaches, and I just devoted myself to it. I said, okay, I'm gonna be like George, and I'm gonna get the money, get the woman, get everything. And I was really motivated, and obviously I had natural talent, and physically, I was physically gifted. So I think that with my determination to learn, quick learning, and opportunities along the way, that going to American Top Team in Florida, even in Nebraska, and then going and making my way to Florida. I had a lot of good what do you call them, jackpots along the way.
Okay, nice.
And then I had a lot of nice jackpots. I hit the lottery a lot along the way, a lot of times, and even made my way here, thankfully, because of MMA. And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, of course. So when you were did you always want to be a professional athlete? Because you said you started off with karate, with boxing, but you didn't like punching. Then you got into bodybuilding, which is another sport, right? So did you always want to be a professional athlete since you're young?
When I was younger, I always wanted to be somewhat famous.
Okay, you had the desire.
Yeah, desire. You're watching people, on TV do different things. So always had a desire to be, big.
Known, accomplished. Yeah.
Yeah, right. On TV for something, and with time, right, I went through a lot of different streets.
Yeah.
I walked through a lot of different streets to get to the right one. So I tried a lot of different things. And again, thankfully, when I tried MMA, I said, okay, this is it. And it happened to be at the same time that I was just graduating. Within 6 months, I would be graduating from high school.
Okay.
So I didn't really have a plan after that. It was probably the military. That was probably my plan.
The American dream.
Yeah, I remember they came to PE class, like the military people. They came to the military recruits. They came to a PE class, and
really?
They came to PE class, and I was really aggressive and trying to impress them, and they loved me. So I was on track to. On track to join the military, and then right after that I ended up trying MMA, and so I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do MMA. And I remember the recruit from Marines would call me, and I said, okay, no, I changed my mind, I want to fight. He said, don't worry, you can fight here with us. we have a program too that you can train and. But although I didn't really want to hear it, I just wanted to. As soon as I made up my mind on something, I'm better at it now. More relaxed right now. Although back then, when I made up my mind about something, and that was it. And so thankfully, MMA,
really paid out. Yeah, of course, in the UFC. UFC is the highest level of MMA.
There's nothing higher than UFC. It's the NFL of combat sport.
Exactly. You can't go. It's the fucking EPL of soccer. I don't know if you watch soccer, football, but it's the
a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the best you can go.
Yeah, I mean, you might get paid somewhere else, although as far as recognition and resume goes, the UFC is the best.
Oh, by far, they have the most skilled fighters and the best fighters in the world.
Exactly. Everybody wants to be in the UFC.
Of course, everyone who trains. So what was cool for you? Were you a good student?
Not particularly. No,
not really.
I had my moments.
Okay. Did you have good grades?
I think one year.
Okay.
1 year when I think it was I was not a good student at all. Probably the worst student ever.
There's me. There's me, Rob.
I'm probably worse than you too.
Yeah. Well, I was really bad. I only wanted to pass, and now at least I graduated university. So I mean, I guess I wasn't that bad, but I just wanted to pass.
Good.
I just wanted to pass.
Yeah. See, I didn't even think about passing.
Okay, really.
I didn't think about anything. Yeah. I didn't think about anything until my junior year, right? And then I don't know, for whatever, things didn't click when I was younger. I don't know why, although things didn't click when I was younger. And then my junior year, things started clicking. I think maybe, I don't know if I got around a better environment or whatever it was. Although things started clicking, and I wanted to do better. I wanted to be better. So I really put in the effort to get better grades, and I got honor roll and made up my mind to do it. Yeah, so I made honor roll, I think, one semester, and then then senior year, it's like, okay, just 1 year left, and so then I think I was coasting.
Yeah.
And then I graduated and I had a 3.5 GPA. I don't know. Maybe one semester. Maybe that was a semester. I think that was my average.
I think 3.5 is good, right? If I remember well.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Oh, it's great. Okay, because in Canada we have a different grading system.
I think 4 point or something is like one of the highest. Really? But I think that was only for like a semester or a year.
Only that was a one-hit wonder.
That was not my average.
Only one-hit wonder. So, but I actually
2.5. 2.5
is that good?
Was probably my average.
Is that good? No.
No, I don't think so.
But I actually find crazy that in American schools, the military comes in like your senior year in high school, right? That's what you said?
I think so.
Okay, they make you do like tests, like physical tests?
I think they had their physical tests, right? That they run the PE class or they're involved in it.
Really?
And, they see who's interested and who maybe stands out more than others.
That's really American, man. You would never see that in Canada. Not one of my friends in high school we have military drop and like see who's interested. Never. Like when you told me that, I'm like, okay, it's like in movies. You see American movies, like kids in school and the military drops and like they do pull-ups and was something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that, running, push, just all kinds. Yeah. So, yeah.
And so you said that you were very talented, and of course you hit a lot of jackpots, which is probably just the opportunity meeting preparation. It was you putting in the work. So at what age did you tell to yourself, okay, I actually want to be a pro MMA fighter?
Yeah. When I really decided that fighting in MMA and being a UFC champion, not even MMA, but just being a UFC champion in general from the start. Okay. I think that was, I was 17. So I was 17 going on 18 within 6 months, again, my senior year in high school. And before that, I was really into, obviously, as I said, I was into bodybuilding. So I was ready. And then before that, I had the boxing, the karate, and even around my social group, I was always known for, since I was in elementary school, I was always known for being a fighter.
Really?
So although this was like my way out
with money and everything,
yeah, this is like, okay, I want the fame, and
Yeah.
this is like the accolades of like, wow, on TV, UFC gold. And so at 17, I would say at 17, I made up my mind that that's what I wanted to be. And then I had my first fight, I think within 6 months of training. I think it was my first fight, and the guy was 22-4. He was like I think he was one of the best guys.
Damn.
Well, he was, I think, yeah, he was the best. Charlie Dubray, I remember
Jesus.
he's
Yeah. Yeah.
the best in the Midwest. And for whatever reason, they threw me to him, and I think I surprised him when I was just finished him. I think the first round within 2 minutes, and like
Really?
rear naked choking him and just threw him off. So and
Jesus,
he was, yeah,
man.
he was 22-4, and I had 0 fights.
Wow. Okay. So that's
Although
natural talent.
yeah, so I had
Yeah.
that. I think maybe because I had the hype, the good support system around me. So yeah, that was my first fight, and I think that really catapulted me in the Midwest.
Of course.
And then yeah, and then I made my way to other gyms in the Midwest where some of the best guys were training, and always sought the next step.
Yeah. Was that your first pro fight or amateur fight?
No, actually, sorry, yeah, that was my first amateur fight.
Amateur. Okay. And you bought like
Yeah,
you fought
so
against the best guy and you won against him.
yeah, I won him. I beat him, Charlie Dubray. I remember. I I was probably still online. I beat him, Charlie Dubray. I beat him my first fight for that belt. I still have the belt, and then I went on to fight 8 more times as an amateur. I went 9-0 as an amateur, and then eventually I decided to go pro. My team decided to go pro, and I think I had visited. Yeah, I fought pro, won my pro debut, and then went to Florida. One of my sponsors that asked me if there's any place I'd rather want to train at that time. I saw Thiago Alves and some other Mike Brown and these guys. I'd seen them on television, so I ended up deciding I wanted to go to Florida. So he paid for me to go there, and then the coaches there liked me, invited me back. And the second time I came back, they offered me to fight for them and gave me free housing and a stipend to train under them. And then I went back, fought a few more times, and then moved to Florida. And then, yeah, I was 6-0 once I got in the UFC.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. I mean, when I look at your career, and like my follow-up question would be, because you started training MMA and then 6 months after that, you went into the cage against one of the best guys in the Midwest. You won. You fought 8 more times. You were 9-0, and then you went pro. What was like, because that's so like quick. Like people can see that really quick. What would you say is the biggest lesson you learned from your amateur days that quickly and then to jump pro?
The biggest lesson I learned
in your amateur days going into pro.
The basic, I think you just train as much as you can.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Discipline.
As far as yeah, I think that discipline, just to train as much as I can and take all the classes that's offered at the gym daily.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not picking this class, that class. No, just take all of them.
All of them.
Morning,
Yeah.
morning and night, because that was my job. And fortunately, I was because of luck, I was able to afford that lifestyle. And I was able to train full time at a young age.
Nice.
So that also helped me too. So I think as far as the lesson, my advice, I guess, would be just train the same way, right? The same way you train as an amateur is the same way you're gonna train as a pro, if not more. So for me, it turned out to be less, because as I went pro and I went to these bigger gyms, American Top Team and whatnot, the practices were harder, and pro practices, right, versus amateur practices were separated. So I was technically training less, although at a higher level. Although I think if you're at a small gym, and sometimes it's a good thing to be there at the small gym. Obviously, you need the right connections to get to the big gym, and those are the connections that'll maybe take you to the next level. Although I would say you gotta train the same way, if you're gonna be a pro, you gotta think like a pro now and train like a pro.
Yeah. It's really hard work, I can imagine, man.
Yeah, and back then, like here, I know here from what I've seen, there's different rules in the sense is like I think amateur fights are 2 minutes. I don't know if you wear shin pads and whatnot, although in the States, the only difference was 3 minutes versus 5 minutes. And essentially everything else was the same.
Really? Yeah.
So it was very easy to make that adjustment. So I don't know if that answers your
Of course,
question.
that's a beautiful answer, actually. And also, if I might add, what would you say, like, for people who don't know, what's the level of difference between amateur fighting and professional fighting, like the UFC?
Mm-hmm.
How different is it, actually?
Well, I think I could say the level is different, although I fought some really good amateur guys, and I fought some guys that are pro that were more that I was more favored to win, right? Because they just weren't the guys that are supposed to win, right? They were supposed to help me build my career. So the difference was elbows, actually.
Elbows, okay.
Yeah, in the professionals, elbows are allowed, right? Versus I think majority of amateurs, elbows aren't allowed.
Okay.
So
does that make a huge difference?
Well, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, thankfully, even as a pro, I didn't really get elbowed. Although I've seen a lot of people get hurt by elbows and knocked out by elbows, and I've elbowed a lot of people, and I was very happy that I'm not underneath those, right? Because, man. So I think again, I think that kind of goes into the mentality of as an amateur, you need to train like a pro if that's what you want to do. So that way, when you are a pro, it's not really different. It's just another day in the office, right?
Yeah.
So you can lay on the ground. Let's say if you're training and you're just like, okay, this guy can't hurt me. I can stay on the ground. So you have no urgency to get up. Although if somebody's elbowing you in your face, you're going to have that. You're likely to have that urgency to get up.
Yeah, likely.
Right. So even though your elbows aren't allowed, it's probably in your best interest to pretend as though elbows are allowed. And for me, so I don't ever get comfortable being your guard or side control or on the bottom, essentially.
Of course, yeah. And another question I would have is it harder getting into the UFC or staying in the UFC?
I think, is it harder getting in the UFC or staying in the UFC? I think both are equally hard.
Okay.
I think getting to the UFC is probably harder.
Really? Okay. Because I heard many people say that staying there is harder.
Well, yeah, that's probably true too. Although to get there, you have to be pretty good. Obviously, you might be lucky. You might be lucky for whatever reason and just happen to be there. I don't know, somehow.
Yeah.
although to be there, essentially, you have to be pretty good to be in the UFC. And once you get in there, well, most likely your chances are 50-50 going forward, unless you're really that much better than somebody else. So I think, again, I got lucky. I was 6-0 when I got UFC, and thankfully I was at American Top Team. I think it was a matter of time before I got in the UFC because I had a lot of hype. I had some pretty good wins, and I was, I think, 2014, 2015, I was like, by bloody elbow, I was top 25, number one on top 25 to be the best, the number one out of under 25 in the country. So I had good momentum. I had a lot of things that favored me. I had a lot of luck, and I was good. So although I put myself in those positions, for instance, the American Top Team, right, around the best guys, which the majority of them were in the UFC. Majority of those guys training American Top Team were in the UFC. So Dan Lambert, the owner of the gym, he's best buddies with Sean and Dana and these guys. So that right away helps me.
Of course, that when you train around the best, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I got in the UFC, right? He was having dinner with Sean Shelby, Johnny Hendricks had somebody under. Johnny Hendricks had a guy that needed a fight, and they were at dinner, and the guy happened to ask Dan Lambert. He's like, Sean Shelby happened to ask Dan Lambert, hey, do you have anybody at 145? He's like, oh yeah, I have somebody. Boom. Right. So they asked me if I wanted it. I said yes. So I got lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have gotten it there eventually.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, it can be seen as luck, but just the fact that he referred you means that the guy who referred you was like, yo, I have this really badass guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that comes from hard work and you being really talented and being really competent as a fighter, right? Just the fact that he mentions you to Dana White, that's like, you have to be a really fucking real fighter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's, as you said, when you're good at something, you'll be more lucky.
Of luck, yeah, cool. Like, people can see it as luck, but like I said, it's when opportunity meets preparation, that's what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and
what was it?
More yeah.
Of course. No, of course. Yeah. And like what you said, and like you said in the beginning, that you always wanted when you were young that fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your feeling when you got that fame?
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel?
I remember when I first got in the UFC, it was great, right? I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I made it. I let everybody know. Everybody was excited, and I had my first UFC fight. So I was pretty calm. I never really liked going, being busy. I was like staying in my room.
Yeah.
And training, and go back to my room and rest up as much as I can, conserve my energy, and then go to fight night. So long story short, it was amazing once I had my UFC fight, my first UFC win, and then I had that under me. I remember the next day I was like, wow, I'm in, I got my first paycheck, even though it wasn't much.
Yeah,
it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
So once, again, luckily from the beginning when I first started fighting, even though it wasn't worldwide fame, I had local fame.
Of course, yeah. People recognizing you in the streets and whatever.
Yeah, like local fame, right? Yeah. And then I had regional fame. And then so I worked my way to, I don't know, not everybody will recognize me in the street, although if they're into MMA, they'll likely recognize me. Of
course, yeah. If they're into MMA, they'll definitely recognize you. So what was it like when you got that first call from your buddy, your coach? He said,
manager,
yeah. When he said, I got you a fight in the UFC. What was the reaction?
Yeah, I got a text message.
Okay.
I got it. I remember the exact day, just like yesterday. I just dropped off a buddy. And whatever, it was a bad week for me. And I got that text message and I was like, wow. Actually, I remember I had a BMW 5 Series. I had tinted windows, so I just got pulled over. I ticketed for my windows.
So you had a real Bosnian car. BMW, real Bosnian car.
Should have gone with the Mercedes.
Yeah.
So I got pulled over, I got that ticket, and then at the same time I looked down, I got a text message from Dan. 6 weeks from now, UFC Orlando. And so I didn't even care about the ticket anymore.
You're like, I'm gonna pay it off easily. I don't give a fuck.
I didn't even care about it. I was like, I don't know, I didn't even care about it. So so that's how that played out. That I got a text message after I got pulled over for tinted windows. Nothing crazy, just tinted windows. And I got that text message. I said, absolutely, I'd love to. And after that, I texted, my brother, my brothers, because they were really into it, the sport, and my other manager at that time too.
Yeah.
Because Dan wasn't acting as my manager at that time. He was just a gym owner.
Okay.
I had another manager, Ryan Stoddard from Nebraska. And then, eventually we parted ways, and I just went with Dan going forward. Although, yeah, it was natural at the same time because again, I was put myself in those situations where the best guys were, yeah.
Yeah. So, did you ever have I made it moment? Because I feel like, you're someone who accomplished your dreams, and I feel like. Sometimes I feel like it's step by step, so gradually accomplishing your dreams. So you never really have I made it moment, or did you in your particular case, did you have I actually made it, I accomplished my dreams?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, great question. I had a lot of animated moments.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
I have a. I don't know. I'm extraordinarily lucky to be in the position I am today and have the lifestyle I have today. So
Hmm.
I think a UFC belt wouldn't change much for me as
Hmm.
far as being on a plaque and somewhere in the house. Um, Although, yeah, my first UFC fight, right when I got that first call and that first contract, okay, I made it. Wow, okay, boom. That first swing, boom, I made it. So there are like these little I made moments, and then right with everything, I don't know, in sports in general, you have your highs and then you have your lows. Uh, so sometimes things are a bit more foggy than others. Although, so to answer your question, every UFC fight was a I made moment. I made it moment.
Hmm.
Uh,
I can
Especially, I
imagine, bro.
think,
Damn.
yeah,
That's
yeah. And then
crazy.
I had like a couple big fights. So it's like, okay, I beat Ricardo Lamas. I was like, wow, I got a lot of attention for that, and he was a good name. I was like, okay, damn, I'm back on track. I made it, right? And so I had this a lot of hype and a lot of gas behind me. Yeah, I think that my biggest I made moment during my active professional career was when I knocked out Godofredo Pepe and then got the UFC bonus, right? Also on top of my other pay, and then the next morning, you're like, wow,
Yeah.
you saw the bank tag, you're like, okay, I made it, I made it.
That's nice. So we're talking about how you, and as an athlete, just all sports, you have many highs and many lows, right? What would you
Right.
say? I guess you probably answered my question, but what would you say was your biggest, your highest high in the UFC, and what was your lowest low in the UFC?
Well, I'll start with my lowest low.
Go
My
ahead.
lowest low, I think, was, well, I think with I don't know, maybe being an entrepreneur and business owner or somebody that's into something, right, in sports, or maybe a musician or an artist, right? So when you have these high expectations for yourself, and so you're maybe somewhat of a perfectionist, right? So you're always not gonna be happy with something.
Hmm.
So, although for me personally, when I first lost to Darren Elkins, right, because I had so much, I was 12-0. I had a lot of everything, right? I was the next star of American Top Team in UFC in general. I had a lot of things going for myself, and I had invested a lot too, in the sense of the gym, just to stay undefeated. That was my goal, to stay undefeated. So when I lost that, I was kind of like, whoa. For me, it was, what do I do now?
Hmm.
Right. What do I do now? Like, whoa, my world kind of flipped.
Yeah.
Even though something like that is more of a normal, I guess for athletes, right? There's always gonna be a loser. Well, I really never thought about that.
Yeah.
I
Because
know.
you were
I just
so
expected to
dominant.
win. Yeah, exactly. I was so down. I
Yeah.
just expected to continue winning, and I was always planning on what I'm gonna do with my prize money. I'm gonna buy an airplane. I'm gonna buy a car on my wall. I had like a crazy wall, vision board of all these things I'm gonna buy.
Yeah.
So when I lost, obviously half the money right away,
Hmm.
and so that was probably my lowest low in my career. Because for everybody else, life kept moving forward, right? They
Of
came to
course.
visit they came to see Vegas. They had a good time in Vegas. They saw your fight. Okay, you lost. Although Monday morning they're back at work and
They forget about it.
going on with their life. So that was my lowest low.
Hmm. How did
My
you
first
recover?
low.
How did you recover from your lowest low? For people, for anyone
Well,
just having a lowest low, how do you recover from it?
yeah, my approach probably wasn't the best approach
Okay.
because my approach was, well, I was looking at my inner, like, for me, where I was at that point, I was American Top Team, and a lot of things I had everything pretty much given. I had everything at my disposal. First, I was treated very well, probably better than anybody could ever be treated, especially for not having. You know, I was not in the top 15 or top 10 at that point, and I still had, because everybody was just very deeply invested in my future and how it looked. So I had a lot going for me there. So when I had lost, I started asking everybody questions. why did I lose? Why did I lose? Or this, that. And like, well, you should train the way you should fight. Yeah, so some of the responses I got back from other people were a bit shocking. And why didn't you tell me this before my fight?
Yeah.
If you really felt like this, why didn't you tell me if I was a bit of an egomaniac, or if I was, if I need to be put in my place, why didn't you put me in my place?
Get humble
At that point, right? So I think I just had too much power too at that point. At a young age, I had a lot of power.
Yeah.
At a young age, so for whatever reason, people, coaches or friends, nobody really told me anything besides that I did not want to hear. So, anyways, I didn't really enjoy being in Florida anymore that much. I wasn't really feeling the gym anymore, the way it was set up, and in general. So I started thinking about, okay, what am I going to do? I wasn't really comfortable signing another fight, being in the same position, the same place in Florida, or continuing that same path, because I already know what it looked like. Right, I was very familiar. I was hard to train harder than I trained because I trained so hard. So I really wasn't comfortable signing a fight. So then I started looking around at other gyms in the U.S. So I visited New York, or Renzo Gracie in New York, and tried to talk to John Danaher, like, hey, what do you think? He's, maybe you should stay there for now, try it out again. So, okay, not what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I was more like, okay, try here, stay here, or where he's like, go back, see how it is, try it one more time. So anyways, I was like, okay, not what I want to hear.
You wanted a more definite answer.
Yeah, and maybe the opposite of like stay here or go stay there, try it again.
Uh-huh.
So I went a couple other places in the States. I went to Colorado. I trained with Terrence Crawford a little bit.
Nice.
Boxing guy.
Damn, yeah.
I trained with him a little bit.
Legend, yeah.
Exactly. I trained with him a little bit because we had trained together. Well, I trained. We had a coach who grew up with him, so he was my coach at that time. We were Wiley, so that was my connection to Terrence. So anyways, I trained with him a bit for when he was fighting for training camp. I was around him, training a bit. Anyways, I just wasn't very happy in Florida anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't really feeling. New York was great, although John was pretty limited, right? He didn't really have a fight team, John Danaher, and then I really wasn't trying to stay in the States. I guess it wasn't. I just didn't really feel it. So then I had a connection to Faraz. I checked it out for a week, and it was great. It was winter here, so it was great. I had a great time. Although I was thinking to myself, I really have it good in Florida. I have it very good. From everything, from housing to food. It'd be hard to give up. So then went back home to Nebraska just until things cleared up mentally, right? Because I probably had a concussion after Dan Elkins, but I didn't even think about it. I just kept training. And so my mind was a bit scattered as far as like, what am I going to do? I lost. Mm-hmm. So for me, again, for a lot of people, maybe it's not that big of a deal, although for me it was. Yeah, so eventually... I just I think my own family got pretty much tired of seeing me in Nebraska. Yeah. Like, dude, just go anywhere. Like, what are you doing here? Just go. So I was like, okay. So then I called. Actually, I got in contact with my old manager. Oh, I have another guy. I also know a guy in Canada, TriStar. So, anyways, long story short, that's what I did after I lost. Eventually, I tried something different. I went to another gym. It was great. Although it was another country in general, right? I came to Canada.
Yeah.
So it was a bit easier to make that transition and go to be a nobody, right? I was really, but nobody here. People knew me, although not one-on-one. They knew of me because of the UFC. So it was nice. It was easy to stay focused. Living in the dorm, you try to start just train and go home, listen to Faraz and whatever. Yeah. I just had one guy versus the American Top Team. I had 10 different coaches.
Okay.
At TriStar, I had just Faraz, and I just kept it just to Faraz. So that really helped me a lot.
Yeah. Would you say that since you had such a quote unquote perfect amateur career. Do you think that if your career wouldn't have been so perfect in your amateur days, that your loss in the pros, you would have taken it better than what you actually did?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I had a couple of fights. I had a couple hard fights as an amateur. I got put on my back and I had to work. I got rocked a couple of times.
Yeah.
So that was that was probably the hardest thing I saw. Although I would agree with you. Yes, I'd probably say yes. It would have been better had I maybe experienced a loss and then see if I really want to still keep doing this. Because when I first lost in the UFC, I was like, man, do I still want to do this? What am I going to do? Right?
It was a big shock, huh?
Yeah, I was just like, okay, what am I? Should I look for a job? I remember looking on jobs online.
Really?
Like, what am I doing? Yeah, I was really out of it. It really turned my world upside down. So I would say yes to your question. Had I experienced more defeats, maybe that's why I think jiu-jitsu competitions are so great for athletes, because you can work some of that pressure, right? Maybe that being around people, competing around people, maybe losing and being not okay with it. I don't think you should ever be okay with losing. Although experience more difficulties and having to work out of bad situations and then maybe lose. And although the stakes are pretty low in a jiu-jitsu competition, unless you're just a BJJ guy. Although if you're a UFC guy and you're competing doing these little competitions, jiu-jitsu competition or wrestling competitions, I think those are absolutely very good. And I encourage a couple of guys I train or I know that they want to fight professionally. I tell them, go compete in jiu-jitsu, get used to the feeling. Some of them are too comfortable losing.
Yeah.
Although, in general, I'd say yes to your question.
Yeah, I feel like in life, the hardest thing to do is keep going when you're facing failure or rejection or whatever. I feel like it's such a mental game, life, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And especially when, again, I think absolutely yes, right? If you're an inventor and you're a scientist and
whatever, yeah,
it's a bit different than fighting, because fighting, it's not a basketball game, right? You lose a basketball game and okay, you'll play again, or
you have like 80 other games in the season.
Yeah, although fighting, let's say you're in the UFC, if you lose, you're almost back to square one.
Okay.
Right, like you lose, you're almost back to square one. Because you got to work your way up, you got to train, you got to get back, try to get back to top 15, then get back to top 10. Unless you're a big name and you're really that good, and you can. I was lucky too. After Don Elkins, I lost, and then I came back. I fought. I was still top 15, and then I fought again. I won. I was top 7. So, although I think nowadays I don't know if it's harder or easier. Although. It's not just a basketball game, or it's the best out of 7. It's best out of 1.
Yeah, and it's like 25 minutes at the most, right?
Yeah, and you're getting punched in the face.
Yeah, and that's a way bigger difference. You can literally die there. You can literally
you could literally die.
Yeah,
you don't know. The chances are likely low that you're going to die. Although you could. I mean, those chances are way higher than, let's say, in basketball or soccer, right? You're likely not going to die.
Yeah, like you could, but still likely not gonna happen. Yeah, so
although
I feel like
yeah.
No, you can go ahead.
No, I remember too when I first met my wife here. We're dating, and I was at her house, and I received my UFC contract in the email for my next fight, and I just asked her to print it out so I could sign it. So anyway, she printed it out, and I went to train. I came home. She said, "Oh, did you read the contract?" I said, "No, what are you talking about? Oh, just the date. I just need to sign it." She said, "No, if you die, that it's not their fault, etc." I said, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yeah, that's so crazy.
I never really paid attention to it. And then obviously I think that with love and starting thinking about my future with my age, I started thinking about other things. And I was like, okay, one day, I guess I could die,
Yeah, of course you start thinking about it.
Yeah, so you just start thinking. I think having those thoughts in your head before, I never thought about it. So again, it's right. If you're gonna be a doctor, I mean, you gotta be pretty good at certain things, chemistry. I don't know what else you have to be good at. Probably have to be good at certain things early on in your life. For me, I was pretty gifted athletically, and I was good at fighting. So I was good at this. Although, again, when you get in the cage with somebody and you have, I don't know, I think in Sweden, when I fought in Sweden, there was like 60 to 80,000 people watching, right?
Jesus.
So it's a bit different.
Of course.
And again, you get a lot of guys I fought. I don't know. Some of them came back after I fought and continued fighting, and some of them never came back after I beat them. So it can really take it out of you, right? Getting humiliated, and although some guys can just brush it off and come back. And I think MMA too. I mean, again, you to be in the UFC and in that sense, you're pretty good. So some guys, they're even better as the age goes on, right? Maybe they lost their first fight in the UFC, although, right, they got up and they're still pretty good. And then now at 37 or 38, they're the champion, right? Look at Robbie Lawler.
Or even Pereira, right?
Or Pereira, or George Masvidal, right? They had their big boom at the end of their, close to their 40s. And even me personally, I think I'm better now as a fighter than I was 3 years ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm way better. It's like 50%.
Why do you think that?
I just think I think I understand the sport better. I understand the psychology of it better. I think it's not as big. I think just more mature. I don't know, more mature.
Yeah.
I took a break, so things kind of maybe caught up. I wasn't just always going. Things kind of came up, and then I relaxed, and then got my confidence up again. And okay, well, I'm actually pretty good. And okay, this is what this means, or that this is okay. Now I understand what this means. So I'm better. I think I'm definitely better than I was. Although now I just don't. I don't feel like fighting.
We wouldn't see a comeback from you in the UFC.
Probably not.
No, maybe a little bit chance. No.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I always joke with my wife. If I were to be single again, then probably.
Okay, yeah.
If I was single, like okay.
Really? Okay.
Well, I just don't have that. Yeah, I just think I have other ways to make money. I'm more. I think before I was just, again, when I first fought, right, and I had my first loss, I was very one-sided. I had a little foresight. I was very one-sided. Although now I think the world is like so much bigger, and like my world was so much smaller. Than now it's like, okay, I can do a lot of things without getting knocked out.
Yeah. So you have many other aspirations and dreams,
exactly,
and goals.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I did it. It was great. I got pretty close. I know how hard it is. And I know how hard it is to get there. So it's, again, once you get in, no matter how good you are, it's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Essentially, obviously, your skills are better at 70-30. Although accidents happen all the time, right? Somebody just throws a crazy back
lucky
elbow.
Punch.
And then, so...
all that training is put to the trash, right?
Yeah, man. It's like, as I said, you gotta start all over again.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah, I know you like, out of all the athletes, you guys are quote unquote the most fucked up athletes there exists. Like, it's just the fact you're gonna go in the cage and get punched in the face, choked out, kicked in the face, elbowed in the face, whatever, cut open in your face.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. Like, I remember I used to play soccer a lot, and whenever I get a dirty tackle on me, I'm like, what the fuck? It'll hurt a lot. But then I'm like, this is like maybe 1% of MMA fighters. Maybe. If I'm being generous sport, right now. Yeah,
absolutely brutal. That can be pretty brutal too. Like, I'm obviously a nice guy, and although, man, I can be pretty mean too, and just like, whoa, Yeah, so I think psychologically, you have to be a bit wired a bit differently. Yeah, that's why when I had Isaac just to get in the cage.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just even if you're not skilled, if you have just like the balls and the courage to step on a cage when there's, like you said,
have a chance.
60, 80,000 people chanting your name, screaming, whatever, yelling, that's just crazy. That's built different.
Yeah, exactly. It's just nuts. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You have to be wired a bit differently mentally. Not in a bad way,
Absolutely.
just different.
Yeah, absolutely. And some guys can turn that switch on and off throughout the
Okay.
day, right? For me, it was a bit different. Okay, being a beast in the gym, and like I have a certain way I want to be, right? I want to train, dark lights off when I'm home, like very savage, and all of then like okay, go home and with my baby and play, watch cartoons, and then go fight. It's a bit too up and down for me.
Yeah, you're very perfectionist, right? From what I see.
Yeah, I think most people are. They're pretty, right? They want to be pretty good at something.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Do you think that
yeah.
came out of passion for the game or out of fear of loss?
Uh, generally speaking, I'd say probably 80%. Well, no, I would say I want to be the best at something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Like a mix
what
of
does the
both.
best? What does the best like before? I remember my karate teacher. I told him, I said, I just want to be the best. And I said, well, Mirsad, you're never gonna be the best. You could be the best today, but tomorrow there's probably gonna be somebody better. And I was like, oh, really? That was like so shocking to me.
Really?
It's like, let me think about this, man.
Are you sure?
So you
Someone...
mean if I beat this guy tonight, I'm not the best? It's like, well, maybe you were. I mean, so that's the kind of concepts a little bit hard for me to accept. And once I accepted, I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. And I feel like perfectionism, from what I saw, because there was this one tennis player, Bjorn Bornson, I think his name was. He was from Netherlands or Sweden, and he was like a perfectionist, like crazy, like a psycho perfectionist. He won every single game of tennis. He never lost. And then once he lost against an American who was anti-perfectionist. Like his diet was ass. He used to not train seriously. He lost once against him, and he retired immediately. He never lost before.
Look at Ronda Rousey.
Oh, she did the same?
Well, similar.
Okay.
I think she lost once or twice, and then that's it.
Really? Yeah, so some people... So I guess it can be a superpower, but I guess at the same time, it can be like your kryptonite.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's why these guys, some people that, right, are 22, and again, you talk about the Robbie Lawlers, these guys that just can lose or shake it off, and I think that's such a great quality to have, right?
Of course, yeah. You
To
get
just brush
embarrassed,
it
you don't
off.
care, yeah.
Yeah, you do not want to not care, although you can just brush it off like, okay, I'll get back up and do it better. I just think this is a hard sport to do that in.
Of course, because
Right,
when you lose, it's way different than when you lose a basketball game, like you said. You get
it's a team.
out,
Well, one, it's a
whatever.
team sport.
You blame others.
You blame others, yeah, and then even this individual sport, you still probably blame coaches, or, I mean, I've done it. I blame this guys, like so you go through that. If you go through that system, although, yeah, it's a fine balance. Again, some people have it, some people don't, and although like anything else, I think it can be learned, right? I kind of learned to accept things more like that are outside of my control, and
Which is really fucking important.
which, yeah, I think it's something, and it helps me. Again, now I'm pretty, when I go to the gym, I don't know, if somebody subs me or something, I'll probably be pissed off, although I won't be, in my room crying and thinking about what the heck.
Rethinking all your life decisions.
Yeah, I'll probably just train a lot more.
Existential crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have...
Okay, I need to go move to, I don't know,
to Dagestan
China
this time. To Dagestan. And
that's not go crazy.
2-3 years and forget Dagestan. Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget. So
I'm in Canada. I like it here.
Yeah, here it's way different, right? It's good. Just the cold, it's a bit... The winter gets kind of fucking crazy here.
Of course.
Nebraska, what about winter in Nebraska? Is it pretty crazy?
It gets pretty cold too.
Yeah, it gets pretty cold. Yeah,
I don't know who
Midwest.
wins, although they're both up there.
Real? Okay, so Nebraska can get as cold as Quebec?
I don't know, as cold, although it gets pretty cold. I've been to Nebraska a couple times in winter. It's very cold.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, well, Nebraska is the Midwest, right? It's in the Midwest.
Exactly. Yeah. It's close to Chicago, right? Close to Chicago, it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
So.
What about Nebraska? Do they have a big ex-Yugoslavian community like in Chicago?
I know they have. I think at least have like 20,000.
Okay.
I mean, they have Albanians. They have Bosnia Herzegovina. They have some Serbians. They have a bit of everything. I don't know what numbers,
Yeah,
although they are those ex-Yugoslavia people.
yeah, of course. So pre-fight in professional days and even amateur, did you have any like rituals or superstitions that you used to do?
Yeah, well, essentially, as far as like rituals, in general, fight week, I was always taught that you want to keep fight week the same as any other day. So I would again sleep, wake up, eat my breakfast, do the normal things, whether it's reading or walking, game planning. So that would be the same, right? I was big into like the psychology, so I would do big on meditation,
Okay.
big on affirmations and really visualizing. I would hire psychologists and sports psychologists and hypnotists just to try it.
Really? Okay.
I would read something and I would try it. So I was big into that. I remember I'd be driving myself to fights and I just have like a audio cassette playing. Oh, I'm the champion. I'm this. I'm that.
Nice.
All these I ams.
Mm-hmm.
So I still do it sometimes. I'll fall asleep to somebody tell me I'm great.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, I think that's the psychology part of, and controlling your breathing. So different breathing exercises. Just trying to stay relaxed. I think for me, the goal when I went into fight, when I went into a fight, I wanted to be cold blooded. So I really want to be, I want to be very relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be too agitated by anybody. Not even at a point. I just want to be very cold blooded, very relaxed. So I would have these again. To answer your question, I would have these. I would have a script. For instance, I remember I had this. Like, let's say I had a fight versus anybody really. Let's say Darren Elkins, or no, even better. Let's say Ricardo Lamas. That was when I fought Ricardo Lamas. So I would besides the training would be adjusted during fight week, although in general I'd wake up, I would play a meditation for 20, 30 minutes, and then I'd have my notes, and then so what I would do, I would record myself on my phone reading like the notes that I took of how going to the arena would look like. So I would describe it in words, how the day was going, what I was feeling, in the future tense, obviously. Yeah. And okay, I'm in the back locker room. I'm doing this warm up. I'm working on this with coach. Okay, now I'm walking out to my fight song. I'm hearing the crowd. They're saying this, they're saying that. I'm just very concentrated. Okay, I'm in the cage. I make my circle. Okay, I'm back in the corner. I'm looking at my opponent. So boom, bell starts. This is happening. I'm throwing this. He does that. Okay, I take him down. Boom. Okay, maybe accidentally he gets me on the ground, so I have to do a hip escape. Put my feet on the hip. So I would describe each round by round, and then obviously with my hands being raised, Bruce Buffer saying my name and winner by knockout, and then I'd write that out, and then I would record it on my phone, and then I would play a piano song with it. So it would be me reading what I said with a piano in the background, and then I would meditate or sleep. And so in the morning, as soon as I woke up, I would play that, and it would be 20 minutes long, let's say for 20 minutes long. And I would listen to that in the morning, and I would fall asleep. And then at night, before going to bed, I would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes during the day too, if I took a 20-minute nap between practices, I would do the same thing. So I think that was really big for me too.
Yeah.
And then all over my room, I would have positive affirmations or different cues that would help me. Just be a dreamer.
Yeah, be that best you can be.
Exactly, things like that, or I'm going to win, I'm a winner, things like that. So just all day I would have that in my head.
Nice. So you put a lot of emphasis on mental strength when you were fighting.
Yeah, like absolutely. A lot. And then and then when sparring days, I would warm up the same way as I would in the fight. So I show up to the gym an hour early, right? Get ready. Again, that morning already, I did my, cold shower, meditate. I take cold showers too. I used to take 5-minute cold showers in the morning.
Oof,
So be
that
really
sucks,
relaxed
huh?
and shocked. Yeah, yeah. And then
That's
I do the self-talk therapy with my voice and the visualization part of the fight. And then I go to the gym, hour pre-sparring, and right, just to kind of again simulate that fight day. And if I did something bad, I would tell myself, okay, that's not like me. I'll do better next time. And if I did something great, I was like, okay, that's more like me.
Yeah. So, of course, MMA being a very physical sport, would you say it's more mental or physical?
I think it's both.
Oh.
I mean, mentally. I mean, if you're good physically for the sport, then you're probably close mentally too. Although I think, again, it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get distracted in sport, and right. Also, I find So I don't know. I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Because one, you're gonna be good physically. If you're anybody in the sport, if you're winning, obviously, if you're not good at the sport, you're gonna have a couple fights, and maybe amateur, even pro, and then you'll be history, right? Nobody will know about you. Although, if you're pretty good, and let's say you've got to the UFC, well, you're pretty good. So, then some guys, I don't know. Some guys, sometimes I see guys in the UFC, I'm like, man, how did this guy get here?
Yeah.
So, although I see majority of guys that are top tier guys, top athletes, they understand the mental part, and they're gonna look outside for a psychologist, sports psychologist, or
Take it to the
read
next
into
level.
read into that, read whatever books or do their research for that mental aspect of it. And that's what I did early on, thankfully. And I think that's since the day I decided I was going to do that sport or be a champion until now. Yeah. I think that was big for me. I think that was 40% or 60% of it for me, because I had that athletic ability. I was good at it. I learned fast. So for me, it was more staying out of my own way and making sure I was, positive and relaxed, and just more controlling not being my own enemy, right?
Of course, yeah. Be your best friend, not your worst enemy.
Exactly. So obviously there's a fine line between both. Because sometimes I remember I would work with a coach once, and he'd tell me, wow, you're doing great, you're so good. Although I felt like I was doing crap. I felt like I was not doing anything right.
Yeah.
And I hated when he would tell me you did great, because I didn't think it was genuine.
Yeah.
So there is that fine line.
Yeah, of course. And it's, everyone not struggles, but everyone has like a mental battle going up there every single day. You gotta motivate yourself, believe in yourself, and then of course you have negative thoughts, bad thoughts, how to deal with them, and all of that. Yeah. So would you say, was it easy for you when you were younger, let's say 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, to keep focus? Let's say your friends, they want to go out, drink, meet women, but you have this big aspirations of becoming famous, UFC fighter. Did you have a hard time staying focused, or was it pretty natural?
Let's say, so between 17 and 22, zero. I was so determined. I didn't want to listen to rap music. I didn't want to go anywhere. You couldn't get me to go to the movies or go out to eat, or I was just not interested. I was just so focused, and I knew how fragile emotions were, or other things that I knew how distracted. So I just really didn't want to. I want to be, again. I think that's how that perfectionism kind of got in, because I was trying to control what I could control, which is everything besides the fight I could control. Right, in the fight you kind of can't control. It's up in the air. As Faraz like to say, he says the ball's in. I really like that metaphor for Faraz. He said the ball's in the air. Mm-hmm. So when I took that knowledge, it helped me relax more. Right, when you get on the side, the ball's in the air. You just. No pressure, just do what you've been doing. So that kind of helped. That had really helped me a lot. Although between 17 and 22, zero. I was not interested in love. I was not interested in and I don't know,
Going out,
fun.
drinking, yeah.
Nothing. I just want to be I want to be in the gym and thinking when I was in the gym, I was thinking about my next meal, right, and then recovery and doing some research and how to trying to find how I was gonna be better. That little mental edge, was it supplements or was it this or was it that? So yeah. And then
easy,
I was
yeah.
so it was easy. It was easy for me. And then with the right when I got UFC, then or even before, right, as I spent more time, I got older. I spent more time in Florida, so around 22. And then you start getting a bit more distracted. Maybe this pro, like who I thought maybe was perfect, also, well, he's doing this, so maybe I started indulging in that a little bit more, and right, so what would be 1 hour going out ended up being 2 hours, and what ended up being one day, ended up being 2 days, and so I think it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like a balance, but at the same time, if you want to be the best, I feel like you have to be a little bit insane, and there's like no balance between social life, work life, whatever life can be. It's like you have to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how it was for me. Some guys can, like have a girlfriend and a wife and do this early on. Although for me, I don't want. And if I go, and obviously, I try to look back. Although, if I could, even now, now my life is a lot different because I have a wife and a lot of other things going on. Although, I always think, okay, what would 17-year-old Mirsad do?
Mm-hmm.
Right. What would 17-year-old Mirsad do? Okay, he would say no, don't do that. He would not do that.
So now you tell yourself, what would 17-year-old Mirsad do, and not what would 47-year-old Mirsad do?
No. I'm always going back to 17. I loved how I was at 17.
You were like so determined and
so determined, so disciplined. I would not think about any distractions. Again, obviously. Yeah,
did your friends find you boring? Did your friends find you boring when you didn't want to go out or whatever?
Man, when I was 17, or like when I decided this was what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be, the next George and better. I didn't even think about friends.
Yeah.
I didn't think. I went to social thing, maybe a fight here. Although I didn't even watch fights really. I was just training. Okay, boom, sleep. I need to get 8 hours of sleep minimum. Okay.
Yeah, because recovery is so important, right?
Recovery, right? So then you start getting recovery, and then the hydration, and then the food, and so all my focus is on that.
Yeah, and that's so rare, especially at that age, to be that determined and focused and disciplined at 17 years old. I guess that's why so many people, like when you're young, like when I was young, my dream was to be a professional soccer player, right? Like I feel like every man when they're young, every boy, athlete is always like, if it's not number one, it's top 3 easily.
Right.
The reason that so many people don't make it is because to have that level of discipline and focus at such a young age is actually really fucking rare. And it's really, really rare.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree with you. And I think maybe because of my childhood, right, I've seen different things. I was, I don't know, curious. I was a wanderer, right? I was a wanderer, so I wondered a lot.
Yeah.
So then at that time when this is what this requires to be the best, requires this. I didn't even go to I don't think I even went to my high school graduation because there's Muay Thai fights and I was competing in that. So forget that. I need to focus on this.
I didn't even know there was a graduation. You're like, I
didn't care about anything.
Nice, man. I like that. That's crazy, especially at that age, man. Fuck, man.
And that's again. Sometimes I still wish I was that way with certain things. I think as you get age, right, you find a balance.
Especially if you get kids and then a wife and you have other priorities. And life changes.
Right. So, yeah. Although I try to give back more to that.
Yeah.
Obviously, besides not having a wife and a kid, and although I like that. For me, that was my favorite person. Like that Mirsad at 17. Like no nothing, just doing.
Nice.
And I think that's what you got to do for these guys that are, that's for me. I train some people. Oh, it's hard for me to train them because like it's easier to train your regular people that just want to learn how to fight. And the boxing, I don't know, you're banker, right? Let's say that's you're training and wants to just know MMA and know jiu-jitsu and boxing. Although if you're trying to fight, man, I think that's all you have to be. There is no I'm doing this practice. No, okay, do your main practice. Although you got to be in the gym all day.
Yeah. So what would be your biggest advice to a young fighter who wants to go into UFC like you did?
I think, well, be honest, right? If your coaches think you have what it takes, right, you have to have what it takes. In the sense that you have the potential. I think you have to have the potential. You can be a hard worker and all these things. Although if you can't take a punch, then that's not going to help you. So if you're thinking about it and you're already there, like let's say these other guys we were talking about earlier, Isaac and
Tommy Morrison, yeah.
Tommy, these guys, they pretty much had it. So if I was telling you, I would tell them, man, go to every practice and it's your gym. Forget everything else. You have your main practices like sparring that you can be 100% for, but once that's done, man, if Faraz is offering a class, has a class going on and you're not there, I don't, that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. I'll see some guys and I'll go, where are you going? They're like, oh, I just did this. I'm like, no, but he has a class right now. Why aren't you there? Like, this is your job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to be obsessed, huh?
Like, well, this is your job. You should, like, if I'm, like, that's how I think.
Yeah.
I think if I'm drilling for an hour and you're not drilling for an hour, well, I'm almost better than you. Mm-hmm. Because I drilled and I kind of, that's how I look at it. Well, I'm more qualified today than you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and especially, do you feel like now MMA is so much more developed skill-wise that now people have to rely more on training and being obsessed than, let's say, before when it started out, MMA, UFC, and all of that? Because it is a new sport, right? MMA, UFC.
Yeah.
Like boxing is a bit older, but MMA, UFC is pretty new.
Right. Well, I think it's still fairly new. I'd say it's not new. I'd say it's young. Yeah. It's still a young sport, and I think now we have so much more at our disposal, right? Mm-hmm. As far as technology, for instance, UFC Fight Pass. You have all these jiu-jitsu websites, wrestling websites, so I can find the best trainer and watch what he's doing online. And then practice it with my buddy if he likes MMA or one-on-one, right? Mm-hmm. I think we just have so much more available now. So I think between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. at minimum, you got to be training.
Yeah, like your regular 9 to 5, right?
Right, that's the easiest. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Mm-hmm. You take your 9 to 5 and do that to MMA. And if you're any good, like let's say some people if they're any good by doing that program, yes, rehydrate, yes, do this, eat well. That's why it's a full-time job, right?
Of course.
You train, you get a drink, okay, hour, let's say jiu-jitsu's, I don't know, your first practice. Let's say the gym's open between 9 and 12. Well, if it's not sparring, okay, I get it, sparring is a bit tough, so maybe don't do something before sparring, although after sparring, or even before sparring, now I think about it, even before, don't make it such a big deal. Go do something before sparring.
Yeah.
Go do some light drills. Because when you go fight, you're gonna do some warm up. You're gonna do some basic drills before you fight, anyways. Mm-hmm. So do the same thing at the gym.
Of course, yeah.
If you're sparring at 11, go do some arm bars at 10. Right. So I think that kind of now you're starting to get into a different thing. Now you're getting into compound, right?
Yeah.
Right. And finance, they call it compound interest, right? So if you $5 multiply it by 5 by the next day, right? So then it starts growing. So that's what I used to do. So I used to think, okay, 5 arm bars today, and then 5 arm bars tomorrow, and then that's 15 arm bars, and then 20 arm bars, and then 25, and then 25 times, just basic math, 25 times 4, and right, in 4 weeks. And then that's how I think you really become good.
I think Firas once talked about it on a podcast with Joe Rogan. He said that let's say Russia and the eastern part of the world, they focus more on volume instead of high intensity like in America where you're from. So what was the transition like training in America with American coaches who probably had that mentality of, American way, and then training with Firas in Montreal, which Firas has more of a like world view, I guess. He saw more about the eastern part and putting more emphasis on volume and less on high intensity.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, yeah, absolutely. You're right about that. Yeah. It was more high intensity as far as when you got to the big leagues. And I think it was just for the big thing I would say between Faraz and let's say working with Faraz here or working with coaches over there in the US was, well, I think Faraz has, he has kind of all MMA, he's an MMA coach, right? Although he has expertise in jiu-jitsu, he's so great at jiu-jitsu, although he's great at other things too, right? So a lot of coaches are maybe good at one thing and they have other coaches at other things. For us, it's more of like overall good everywhere. Even though he's incredible at jiu-jitsu, he's still great at other things too. So I think for us, mentality in the sense that, at least with me, I found my most success when I would just ask him personally, hey, what do you think I should do today or tomorrow? And that's what I did when I first came here. I just asked him everything. So I don't know if that answers your question in a sense. I just think I think he has a great program. I think he has great skills. I think somebody you can trust, right?
Yeah,
He'll give you his honest feedback in that sense. And sometimes it's good and maybe sometimes it's not good. Although, ask me a question again. Maybe I have something different.
Yeah, well, I mean, because talking about Firas, I talked about Firas with Tommy. With
Yeah, volume,
yeah. Yeah, and the volume, exactly. Yeah, and high intensity. And like, if I might add also regarding Firas, both of them, there's in such awe and they have so much respect for Firas, which I understand. I mean, if you look at his roster, if you look at his history and everything, I mean, even if you don't know the sport, if you just know basic logic, you understand where the respect comes from. So I guess the question would be, how did you see Firas's mentality be different from all these other coaches you had in America?
Yeah, I think so. I think Faraj just blended things well. He was able to blend everything well together so well. That's what he gave me a few things to think about daily or weekly.
Yeah.
A few things to think about or a few things to add into my arsenal. And then it was, just showing up and showing up to practice. And for me, at least, I think my personality fits great with him in the sense that he's great at what he does. I'm a great soldier. I'm a great student. So just showing up. So I think, and he has then I don't want to take anything from him or anybody. I just think he's great at mixing everything well together.
Of course.
And he has a great skill set in jiu-jitsu, although in MMA in general.
Yeah. Is he also like a little bit of a life coach? Because I know that he has like a PhD in philosophy or something of that sort. So he must probably incorporate personal philosophy with fighting. Since it's such a individualistic sport, it's only you in the cage against someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I think guys that are still that are fighting, they're so lucky to have that and need to take advantage of that, right? And give some of that control. I think that's one thing in MMA that a lot of coaches don't take control, right? They kind of let you do your thing though.
Okay.
Kind of pit you. So I think having somebody to give control, having that one person to give control over your career, like trust you to that one person, that's a good person to trust. So having that for us is a great person to trust. And like, hey, what do you think? Okay, if I want to be a champion, tell me what to do, and I don't need to think about anything. I'll just tell him how to do it. That's the guy, and that's what I mean. That's what I would do if I go again and start. 100% just for us. Anytime I got off track, is because I probably was doing things my own way versus the Faraz way.
Yeah. Okay, so Firas,
And
like his way is really like, I mean, people
I think
respect
it's
him so much. Yeah.
exactly, absolutely. Yeah, he's world renowned for his, and for me, top, if not the best MMA coach out there,
Yeah. Like when
or
I
at least.
asked Tom, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said for me, it's probably the best. Is the best MMA coach I've worked with. From bottom, if you think about the sport from bottom up, in the sense of from leg locks to the head getting punched, he has all of it, right?
Nice.
And the environment that he has around the gym, the classes available, you just have so much ability to grow. So I think getting back to your original question from the difference in volume and hard, I think you need a bit of both. And I think I think he just knows how to blend it well together, given his experience in life and in the sport and in general. And the other coaches are great too in other countries. And I think we're just all very lucky. If you have if you can pick where to go, you're a very lucky person.
Yeah.
And my pick would be here, right? You have guys like myself who are there daily or weekly or bi-weekly that you can learn so much from.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tristar, he really mastered the art of being a MMA coach. Firas,
Yeah.
like he really mastered. I mean, I can just imagine for Tommy and Isaac, imagine them training with probably the greatest coach of all time, and then having so many legends like yourself and like many other fighters just be around them, having the opportunity to pick their mind, ask them questions, learn from them, look at them, whatever it can be. It must be crazy experience.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're very lucky. I'm very lucky too. That's why I still go to the jiu-jitsu classes, and because he's teaching them so much to learn from him. And I'd be stupid if I didn't.
Yeah.
I've been stupid before, so I try to be less stupid every day. I think if everybody can practice being less stupid every day as an athlete, it would be in much better hands. And so anyway, I know I got off track and I couldn't really narrow the answer down to as far as I just think he has a great way. Learn all the ways and find what's best for you. For me, that was the best way. So I think it's important to try everybody's way and then see what works best for you.
Of course, I know Isaac and Tommy used to tell me a lot that he's very strict. And Tommy told me that if ever you need a smack behind the head, he's not afraid to give it to you, a smack behind the head.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
nice. It's pretty straightforward and very, very professional.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, I wouldn't, I don't know. That's what I like about him, right? It was never, I go there, there's no, you say hi, hello, how are you? Great. And then
get to work.
The clock starts, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Right? So when you were fighting in your prime, you were really fucking lean and in shape and cut. What did your diet look like?
Yeah, so I was always into nutrition, and I did bodybuilding before. So I knew them, and then obviously do my research. It was oatmeal in the morning, and then basic rice and chicken at lunch, small snack, and then it's pretty similar dinner, rice and chicken, and then a bedtime snack. So that was pretty much my go-to every day until I got to I think 22. So between 17 and 22 was oatmeal in the morning, chicken or tuna, something like that.
Lean protein.
Yeah, like usually chicken and rice, because that was it's chicken and rice and some veggies, but just mostly chicken and rice.
Yeah.
And then a little protein shake after lunch. Practice, maybe do some like an apple before, take some sugar. And then chicken and rice again for dinner, and then again. So I think that for me it was very simple. I was single. I was still living by myself, so I was making my own food. So I wasn't good at it by any means. Although it's very easy to do that at least. And I was pretty intense too in the beginning. I had no seasoning. I would do nothing. So when I got older, I was gonna go. I was so stupid. I could just add ketchup or anything. I didn't do nothing.
You were so intense, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty intense. And then so anyways, and then when I was in American Top Team, I met Mike Dolce. So then I got more into like specifics or changing, measurements or being a bit more creative with my diet. And I was always disciplined when it came to that.
And on top of that, what about training camp? So on top of eating very like healthy and very crazy, what about the training camp part?
Yeah, I think I really didn't have a training camp. I was just always in the gym.
Okay, so you're always year round fight ready.
The only time, yeah, exactly. The only time I wasn't training was usually after a fight. So I take 1 week, go to Nebraska, visit my family, my mom, and my family and friends in Nebraska. Although that was just like once after a fight. Although gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just every day. It was pretty much the same day. Yeah.
So you pretty much lived like the Mayweather lifestyle. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, I mean, I was always training. Like, I was trying to get better. Even now, right? You can still train to get better. So I was always just trying to get better. And by the time, let's say 2 months to 3 months, you usually had to get ready for a specific fight. Then that's a bit different. Then you're still getting better, although you're always getting better. Then, as you get closer to fight, you think more about your weight. Although you're always in the gym, 365. I know some guys I know now, they're like, they have a fight, they contact me, they want some training, or they're around at the gym. Although if they don't have a fight, they're not in the gym.
Okay.
So I don't agree with that. I was like, you're not setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because there's gonna be someone else more hungry than you, and he's in the gym while you're not in the gym.
Yeah, you don't have to spar as hard. You don't have to spar as hard. I think that's one of the other things I'd probably do differently. I would tell guys just play tag. I do it with clients all the time when I train them now. Like just play tag, shoulder tag, right? Just play shoulder tag. You try of shoulder tag. You try to get. The point is to tag and not get tagged.
Yeah.
So
work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, it's just, and don't get so intimidated by, okay, today's Thursday, I got to spar Mendel, oh crap, or damn, today's Tuesday, I have to spar Amens, okay, damn, or Arnold, like that, these guys hit hard. So, but maybe take somebody like, and go less intense and just try to have more fun as far as the sparring goes, although when you have jiu-jitsu and wrestling, right, those are all the practices. Anytime you miss a practice, that's how you get good at wrestling, right? Everybody says, "Oh, go to," like even earlier, you joked and it was, "Oh, I want to go to Dagestan and do this for 3." Like, dude, you don't need to go to Dagestan. You just need to go to their gym, a good gym, and just train every day. If you want good double legs, you need to do, I don't know, at least 30 double legs a day.
Okay, yeah.
Right? If you really want to go, if you want good single legs, you gotta practice those single legs every day. If you want good arm bars, every day. That's how you get good. So maybe obviously in Dagestan it's a bit easier because there's nothing. I don't know.
There's nothing else to do except train.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what else is.
No distractions.
Yeah, it's not. And not even the culture. It's like you're not even allowed to be distracted.
It's only wake up, train, sleep, eat.
If you do anything else, you're gonna get put in prison.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the only difference. Although you don't go to Dagestan, go to TriStar in Canada, have a good life.
Of course. Like, I mean, GSP comes from TriStar, right? With Firas. I mean, if he can do it, fuck.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, you have other guys. Arnold. You have, Amen. He's on a roll. Amen. He's on a roll now, right? So eventually catches up. Although again, just show it to practice. Yeah. Just show it to practice.
Because as talented as someone can be, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't hard work. And if you have two guys very talented, he works harder than this guy, well, he's going to just be better, right?
That's how I got better. I got my double legs became good because I practiced double legs.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Right? I got good at certain things because I just practiced every day.
Mm-hmm.
I was lean because I ate clean, generally clean all
Mm-hmm.
the time. And then once I started, as I said, once you started kind of getting off of that program, and maybe you're going out to a movie, I don't know, going out to a bar or something, like, okay, that's sleep time. You could be sleeping,
Yeah,
right?
of
It's
course.
just, I think I saw Khabib one time recently, and he was talking to his cousin Umar, and Umar was reading some kind of philosophical book, and Khabib's like, dude, why are you reading that crap? You know, if you want to get smarter, go to school, right?
Yeah.
And I agree. I agree. Like I get his point. I think that's a great point, and I agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. It's like, dude, you study double legs. I mean, yeah, be educated and read, and I'm big on that too. And it's probably maybe why I got lost interest in MMA for some time, because I started getting way into like reading and philosophy and all these things, and started thinking about other things in life versus just like MMA. So, man, just train.
Yeah.
Double legs. You want double leg. If you want good sprawls, practice sprawls.
Mm-hmm.
You want to like that's it's not it's not a secret. It's not a magic. A lot of people sometimes think about, and especially now, you want to be well rounded, right? If you want to be the best in the world, think about, like, I think GSP is a great model. Like, okay, if you're not as good at that or somewhat similar to that, then you're gonna have a hard time,
And he's so well
right?
rounded, GSP. I mean, he's like
So
complete.
so how do you get like that? Well, just follow his schedule. Ask him,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we'll go ask his coach. What did he? Okay, he did this. He did. We'll go do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Emulate, right? That's what I did. I tried to emulate when I first started. GSP was the best at that time. I was very motivated. I emulated him, right? So I found a wrestling coach. I hired a good wrestling coach. I took the privates. I went to the gym. I got my striking. I did striking every day. I did boxing every day. So just find whoever it is and emulate them.
Yeah. So I have two questions right now. What was your favorite mixed martial art to train, and which art is the most dominant?
Favorite to train. It depends which one I was winning at most. I think right now it's a jiu-jitsu, like jiu-jitsu wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
because it's, I'm not getting punched in the face or punching anybody else in the face. Although it's fun to practice boxing and kickboxing. Um, yeah, now, like when I was competing, I didn't even think about it. I just want to be the best at everything. So I would practice all of them generally equally.
Mm-hmm.
Although now I would say jiu-jitsu wrestling. Although I practice more because I think it's less impact.
Yeah. Then getting punched in the face, of course.
Then, like, say, boxing. Boxing is more of a high intensity workout, right?
Okay.
Versus a jiu-jitsu, it's not so much a like, it can be a high intensity, although generally speaking, again, it depends. When I was training American Top Team, let's say, or even younger, they used to call me a brute because I was just so rough.
Yeah.
With my
Yeah.
double legs. I wasn't. They used to joke. They called me. I was as smooth as a dump truck
Yeah.
because I wasn't very smooth. So
Yeah.
now I'm more relaxed and all before. So now you're able. I think it's important to be able to have that low intensity. So you have the arm bars, low intensity, and just very smooth, not even breaking a sweat. And then you have your high intensity, your boxing, your kickboxing, and you kind of pick it up more. So, not your question, although we're going to go off topic.
Yeah, the
I would
second
say,
one, yeah,
yeah.
what is the most dominant art form in MMA? Because I hear always people comparing jiu-jitsu and wrestling and then debating which one's more dominant in UFC or
What?
MMA.
Well, I mean, the two different sports. Like jiu-jitsu, your goal is to submit the person,
Mm-hmm.
and wrestling, your goal is to pin the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So submission grappling, I would say, is my favorite because you can pin the guy, I can pin the guy, or I can submit you. I have a choice. So I would say submission grappling, that includes wrestling and jiu-jitsu together, is, I think, is a good. It's probably the most dominant.
Yeah.
Although before you can get to me, you gotta be able to get to me, right?
Yeah.
So you better know some striking,
Yeah.
right? Every fight and match starts on the feet.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you don't have to worry about getting punched in the face in a jiu-jitsu match or in a wrestling match. Although in real life, you better know striking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And although somebody's gonna just run at you and tackle you down to the ground, okay? Although usually,
You can get a few punches in before he tags you
yeah,
down.
yeah, exactly. And
So what would you say is the most dominant like art for street fighting? Let's say someone was fighting the bars and streets. What would be the most dominant art to know?
Muay Thai,
Muay Thai, okay. The four limbs.
hands up, elbows, close distance. You got the elbows, fists, knees,
Kicking.
headbutt.
Let way.
So I think Muay Thai is probably the best because you got kicks and knees and punches and elbows.
Mm-hmm.
I think Muay Thai. If I had to choose one, I'll probably do Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, yeah, for street fighting, that makes sense because there's more striking than, let's say, grabbing him, and then I'm doing like these fucked up moves with jiu-jitsu and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, for street, I mean, I train people, right? So majority, I'd say 80%. Sometimes, rarely, I'd say. Although 80% of the time, I would say we focus on striking.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because all you need to know on the street is a sprawl, a double leg, and a guillotine.
Yeah, really? Okay. Because you grab and then you just...
On the street, right?
Yeah. And of course, I mean...
striking.
Of course.
The guy's going to try to take you down. 100% everybody's going to try to double leg you on the street because they think, right? Or they're going to try to guillotine you.
Yeah.
I've been in enough street fights. I've also been in enough street fights, I know.
Oh, okay, really? Okay.
So I think, yeah, striking, 80% of the time I spend time with people, I do striking with them.
Yeah. Because
and then I'll show them a guillotine, I'll show them a double leg and a sprawl. That's all you need to know in a street fight. In a bar, what is it? I mean, if a guy's doing a flying armbar, you're okay, like,
That's a bit different. Because I worked in bars as a bartender for like 7 years, and all the fights I saw, first of all, 99% of people don't know how to throw a punch, from what I saw. 99% of people don't know how to fight, and 99% of fights don't take more than 10 seconds.
Exactly, and I'm sure somebody either went for guillotine or rear naked choke or
knocked him out first punch or something.
Yeah, first punch, exactly.
Okay, so now I want to talk
about...
Go ahead, go ahead. Finish. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I think that's what I spend the most time doing is
teaching.
Yeah, the striking. Striking. I think knees. People come and ask me that sometimes. Hey, okay, I really want to be. Somebody comes and texts me in the bar, and what do I need to know? Or if he does this, what do I do? So then I get creative, right?
That's when you get creative, right?
Yeah. Like, okay, you're gonna need to know this.
Yeah. So now I would like to talk a little bit about philosophy and just personal beliefs. So I asked this for every fighter: are you religious, and what role does religion play in your personal life and professional?
Personally, right now, I'd say myself and my wife are not really religious. We just kind of just don't even get into it. I think more when I was fighting, it was. I think part of fighting. Maybe that's because even before fighting, I didn't know what religion was. Yeah. Besides, like, let's say when we first came to the U.S. Up until high school, I mean, I remember when we were kids, like, people would try to be religious and like, what is this, Okay. And then when I started fighting, 17 and whatnot, then you saw all these athletes, kind of praying to God and
thanking God.
Okay, what is that all about, right? And so I think part of being an athlete, or I think probably any form of athlete, because it's so brutal and whatnot, you start thinking, I don't know, about a higher power, like, whoa,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, man, I don't know if it was back in the day, right? You're like, oh, 300 people versus an army of 100,000, right?
Yeah,
Like, man,
Spartans.
I needed, yeah, like, okay, whoever did it helped me, thank you, right?
Of course. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I understand it. Yeah,
Like that I think, so you're like, okay, wow,
yeah.
so that's how I think. So, anyways, so when I was 17, right, I was seeing these fighters, and as I said, you research. So I got into that. I got into it at that age, and then I think now I'm just not really into it. Just kind of.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of books out there, right?
Yeah, of
There's a
course.
lot of there's a lot of different books in there, and I like all kinds of books. I like a lot of books, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting. It's an interesting subject.
Yeah.
I think people take it a bit out of context in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think there's a lot of good things as far as religion goes. I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of good
For me, religion
concept.
is more like personal. When I face failure, when I face self-doubt,
Mhm.
then I just look like to a higher power just to like help me out throughout my life. And when I'm going towards my goals and my dreams, it just gives me like extra
Absolutely,
motivation, extra
absolutely.
mental clarity, because sometimes you have questions that literally no one has answers to. So then
Yeah,
instead of just fucking like crying in my bed and just like being
yeah,
all over the place, I'm just like, you know what? I'm leaving it up to God. I'm gonna do my best. I'm
yeah,
gonna leave the rest up to God.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen. I think there's definitely an infinite intelligence, and like
Something
you
greater
and I are
than us.
talking. It's something like we're talking to a computer, right?
Yeah.
Back in 2000 or 2000, 1999, or whenever 1991, this wasn't a thing even possible, right?
hmm
Like, we have all these. I mean, you in the ocean, you have these insects. I mean, sometimes I see these insects running around like, what? It's like this small. Like, what good does this serve us, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did somebody just come to do this? So there's definitely a higher power out there, universal power, infinite intelligence, whatever, God, and so many other names that we can get into, right?
Of course,
You
whatever
know?
you call it, just a way of calling it a higher power. God,
Yeah,
Allah,
exactly,
Buddha, whatever you call it, the
exactly.
universe,
Yeah,
karma.
and I think, depending on where you were born and
Your background and
if
everything.
you're born in I don't know, it depends where you were born, right?
Of course.
Everybody, you can look on a map and Google, and most of those people, you're like, okay, they believe in this and that. Although we're in North America.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, anyways, no. In all seriousness, I think it's a religion is a great thing,
hmm
and if it makes you a better person and you're a better person to the world, great.
Of course.
Although, and if you're the opposite, then it's kind of like, ugh,
Yeah.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not,
Dive
watch
into
that
it.
part. Yeah, get into that with
Of course.
whatever it is. I think it's whatever, as you said, if it helps me. I'm very grateful to God and everything I have in my life,
Of course.
and the opportunities and that we have. As I said, I'm very thankful that we didn't get accepted to Germany as refugees, because had that been so, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So,
And many other things wouldn't have happened in your life, and like everything happens
yeah,
for a reason, even if in the beginning you
exactly.
think it's bad, but actually it's
Yeah,
actually good. Like that's how I see it. Everything that happens to me, good or bad, is actually good for me because I either learn from it or I gain something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember too. Absolutely, it's like this life is so weird,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're,
Yeah.
to not believe in something that, like, there is something out there, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully you visit and tell me before I go. I remember I asked Faraz one time about like religion and God. He said, "Listen, Mirsad, if I go to Saudi Arabia, I'll believe in Saudi Arabia. Whatever they like, if that's how they do, they thank the people. I'll thank them that way. Like I can integrate into that. If I go here, I'm in North America. I integrate with North Americans.
hmm
So that was a great analogy for me.
I mean, I understand the logic because in a way, as different as human beings can be, we're way more similar to all of us than we are different.
Absolutely,
We're so
absolutely.
more similar and more closer and way more the same than we think we are. And then of course there's media trying to separate us even more than what we actually like. We are different. Like that is a fact that we're all different. But at the end of the day, we're all so similar and so close to each other that when you travel the world, when you meet new people, new cultures, whatever, you realize like, yeah, there are differences, but we're still, at the end, we're all human beings and we get along way better than we don't get along.
Absolutely. We're different. Listen, if you and I come out the womb the same day, the same time, and we're raised by the same person, we're likely to be a very, very similar than different.
Of course, that nurture plays a big part. Of course, nature also, but nurture also plays a big part.
Yeah. So if you and I are separated, really take twins, you take them across the world, and they grow up differently.
Of course.
You know, they're gonna be very they're gonna think differently, or I think differently than my wife thinks differently because I've seen a lot more different things. You know, sometimes I used to be like, crazy. I think this way because of my experiences. And I'm like, oh, she's thinking this. She has to be thinking this. But she's like, dude, she wasn't even thinking about that. It was like, we're not even in her mental sphere. Right? Because it's just, it's never been a part of her life. Or so it's like sometimes I remember early on in a relationship, it was so hard for me to comprehend that. Like, not even with her or in general, right? You think, oh, that person's got to be doing. Well, we're just, again, that's like when you take a chill pill because it's like, whoa, relax. Nothing's happening, right? Exactly. Just because of our experience in life.
Of course, experiences play a big part. Like, let's say someone can look at you and say, oh, he used to be a big brawler when he was young. He always used to fight. But then they can look at me, oh, he never fought when he was young. But maybe if I have lived the same life as you, had the same upbringing, maybe I would have been the same. Maybe if you were in my shoes, maybe your life would have been different. Like, absolutely, there's many reasons that can make a person commit certain actions that another person wouldn't.
Absolutely.
Certain thought
environment.
Patterns.
Absolutely. Environment is especially children. And for me too, I think at 17, when I talk about, what changed, or I decided, okay, this is what, because I realized I didn't think about friends or anybody. I was just so focused on training because I realized that environment plays such a huge role.
Yeah.
In who you are and what you do and what you think and etc. So that in regards is more like, let's say, your surroundings. If you're hanging with a bunch of gangsters, you're
more likely to become.
You're likely to get in trouble and end up in the bad way versus hanging out with a bunch of preppy kids.
Of course.
Right. Yeah. So that's just an analogy. So, anyways, I believe there's a higher power.
Yeah.
You know what you want to call them. We'll go with that.
But at the end of the day, like we're so the same that it's like you can just all call it differently, but at the end of the day, it's a higher power. It's something else.
Yeah, my wife grew up in a Catholic home.
Okay.
I was born to Bosnian Muslims in Southeastern Europe. Although I didn't grow up in a Muslim household, I grew up with a bunch of Catholics and Christians. So, and now I'm here in Canada, right? I'm married to a person that's totally different from my background. So
yeah, a Catholic person.
Yeah. So what am I gonna do? I don't know.
Yeah, no, because you're all even. Is she French Canadian?
Huh?
Is she French Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay, really? Okay. Nice. Yeah, so you met her here, I suppose?
Yeah, her dad's from France and her mother's Anglophone.
Oh, okay. Nice. So now I'd like to get a little bit into the UFC right now and just MMA in general. So who is your favorite MMA fighter of all time?
MMA fighter of all time. I would say between George St. Pierre and John Jones.
Okay, and my next question, who is the MMA GOAT?
I think John Jones for sure.
Okay.
Just be there too, though,
Everyone always says, no matter who I ask, a fan, a fighter, a coach, a casual, they all say John Jones or GSP, always.
Yeah, because I think, they both did such amazing things. I think John Jones, just because he stayed longer in the UFC, I'm pretty sure. And he fought like, and we know some of the guys George fought. Although when you think about the guys John Jones fought, like Machida,
crazy,
Shogun, Biz, like, I mean, yeah, just so like just the names that some of the people John has fought are huge.
Of course, yeah, John, yeah, of course, and he was like, I think he became champion at 23.
The youngest, I think, was the youngest.
Yeah,
champion.
23, something like that. Crazy, man. Technically, he never lost. I mean, on paper, he has one loss.
Yeah, he never lost.
Illegal,
the elbows, yeah. So he never lost.
Yeah, crazy, man. And the way he operated was so fucked up. Like, he used to say
he's so good everywhere.
But also, I mean, outside, he used to do like so much cocaine and party weeks before fights. But he would come into the octagon so dominant.
I remember Frost told me, John would come in the morning like smelling like alcohol, and guys would like be passed out, and he'd show up for sparring and just beat the crap out of the guy. Like, you had a guy like me who like trained, was very rigid and had like my schedule, and everything had to be perfect to have like a great practice. And sometimes I still didn't have that great practice. Then you have somebody like John just come in after partying all night, or
crazy, man. Not naturally gifted, really.
Yeah, and still, right? He's still going at it.
Of course. Do you think if he was to fight Aspinall right now, who do you think would win?
John.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, I don't think it's even close.
You don't see, oh, okay, really? Not even close, huh? No one can beat John, huh?
Look at what I've never even seen him fight Aspinall.
Okay.
But I've seen some highlights with who's that last guy he fought?
Where you got the finger in the eye?
Black Rope. Yeah.
It was Ghani, Cyril Ghani.
So what? Like John took care of him in a minute.
John. Yeah.
With no trouble.
Yeah.
And this guy Aspinall was having a hard time with him.
Yeah. But what do you think about people saying that John is, yes, he is the GOAT, but he is older now? Do you think that plays a factor in if they were to fight?
Well, eventually, age gets everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Eventually, age gets it with everybody.
But not yet for John Jones. He's still good.
He's smart. He's taking the time off, right? He's just resting. He's training. As soon as that big payday comes, he's back.
Yeah.
It's like George, too. George trains. He has fun. George is still training.
He trains at TriStar, right?
Yeah, I mean, he trains a bunch of different places, right? He's all over the world, although I think, comes regular, monthly. I think I'd say once a month, at least from my understanding.
Okay.
Probably get a session in, and yeah.
Who would you say, now talking about John Jones and GSP, what would be your top 5 UFC fighters of all time?
Top 5 of all time? Well, we said John Jones, GSP, Sean Shirk.
Okay. That's the first time someone told me him, okay?
Yeah, I love Sean Shirk. I used to watch him all the time and get that double leg. So I got the double leg. Sean Shirk. I really like Gray Maynard.
Okay.
That's at 4. We're at 4. What else is there? Top 5 all time. GSP, John Jones.
Silva, Mighty Mouse.
Oh, Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse, yeah, he was nice.
Yeah. I mean, Anderson Silva was just like, I don't know. He was great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got knocked out pretty bad too a couple of times. I need some great things too. Yeah, I think he was great too. Yeah, there you go. Although I think my top for like George, John, Sean Shirk, Gray Maynard, and I also like Thiago Alves too. But I don't see like all great of all time. Although he had his moments.
Yeah, of course.
Although Mighty Mouse, I think Mighty Mouse, he's so good too at it. He's like a small John Jones.
Yeah.
If John Jones had a son, it would be Mighty Mouse.
It would be Mighty Mouse. If you had a mini me.
Yeah.
What about Conor? What about Conor McGregor?
Oh yeah, Conor. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't think he's overrated?
I think timing, right? He came in a good time. Although he's one-dimensional
striker, yeah.
Sean Shirk, let's say. I mean, he's not like crazy like Conor, but he had decent striking and a couple great things. Conor. I mean, those Conor's good. When I talk about Sean Shirk, Gray Maynard, those guys are like they weren't like crazy good at it, but they were great wrestlers, decent striking, had great you could also say Frankie Edgar, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just Connor. Obviously, Connor just, I think, popularity wise, he really changed.
He was so popular and so much attention around him that it's just crazy. Like he was.
And I think a lot of guys, and a lot of guys emulated him too, right? Tried to.
Yeah, because they saw how much money he made. They're like, "Yo, let me try to do the same."
Yeah.
Who would you say is the most underrated UFC fighter of all time?
Mirsad Bektic.
I would say the same. I was actually thinking that in my mind. I actually wanted to say it.
I'm not bad. Most underrated. Wow. Most underrated UFC fighter of all time. Into my memory.
Don't have one? No? Oh, it's okay.
I'm blanking. Yeah. I'll get back to you.
Of course, no problem. Okay, so now I want to finish off with some rapid fire Q&A. I'm going to ask you a question. Rapid fire. What music do you listen to?
Right now?
Yeah.
Man, I listen to a mix. I listen to some Hispanic music because they're always,
dancing.
They're always happy. They're just always happy.
Joyful.
Although I like what do I like?
Bosnian music.
Sometimes.
Halid Bešlić.
It's funny. I have a couple guys. I have sometimes at least once I'll train a couple guys. At least once I'll play Sarajevo, and they just think it's the most hilarious thing in the world.
Dino Merlin is also really good from Sarajevo. Dino Merlin.
Yeah, I don't listen to him much, although I've heard.
It's mostly because when I was young, growing up, driving in my dad's car, he would always put those songs, right? Zdravko Jolic, Halid Bešlić, Dino Merlin, so in my mind, like when I listen to them now, like from time to time, it reminds me of my youth with my parents and whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's the thing. I get like a bit emotional, so I try not to listen to too much. But if you I'm looking at my Spotify, it's just hilarious because I have like Caribbean beach party, island vibes. I'll mess with people.
Joyful music.
Yeah, I'll mess with people too at the gym. Sometimes I'll put like certain moves I do. I'll put like war sound effects.
Vietnam getting shot at.
Yeah, it's so funny. It depends where they're from. I kind of do it specifically where they're from.
Yeah, nice.
So I don't want to do it. To be more personal to them. I personalize it. I have some techno, some.
Would you have a favorite musical artist?
Well, yeah, Tupac. Probably.
Tupac, really?
I just love I grew up listening to him, so even sometimes it's always in my DJ.
Yeah, West Side.
Yeah, exactly. It always comes up. I switch it up though. I love instrumentals.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it comes back to like the psychology of it, right?
Meditation and everything.
If you just sometimes if you just listen to rap all the time, it's just like a bunch of garbage. Sometimes.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like you get tired of it.
Yeah, and it's like just the same words, or even if it's Dino Merlin or Halid Bešlić. So sometimes I just like instrumentals because there's no words and I'm not being affected mentally besides the sounds.
It's only you and your thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just like a beat, it's just an instrumental, just a beat, or just beats in general. For a long time, I've really got into that because I try not to, I'm big into that environment and we're affected by what we listen to and what we associate with and whatnot.
Of course.
Sometimes I'll be playing music in my gym and then my Spotify takes over and starts playing affirmations. I'm like, I gotta run to my phone to play something. I'm embarrassed right now. I am great. I am great.
I love that, man. Yeah. Next question. Favorite meal?
Favorite meal.
Cevapi?
Yeah, that's pretty. Cevapis are great.
Yeah, amazing.
Cevapis are great. Here, right, we're in North America, so it's not like a regular. Although I have some in the freezer.
Mm-hmm. Always.
And the meat, the burgers too, the Balkan burgers.
Oh, of course, good. Yeah, which are like thinner but larger.
A larger, wow,
Yeah,
those are so good, man.
phenomenal.
Juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I think, what did I eat like regularly
What
throughout
will
the
be
week?
your go-to
Chicken
cheat
wrap.
meal? Let's say you're on death row.
Burger for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Burger for sure.
Yeah.
Burger and sweet potato fries.
Yeah, or sweet potato fries with the spicy mayo or chipotle sauce. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You know, yesterday for lunch I had like a double cheeseburger from McDonald's, and
Nice.
today I had a double cheese. You know, was it last night? A double cheeseburger,
Yeah.
and then I made it at home, and then today for lunch I had another burger.
Yeah.
So it's just
You
always
like
good.
burgers. It's like the best cheat meal because pizza it's only bread and cheese, right?
Yeah.
So at least there's some lettuce, meat, and whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Favorite sport after MMA?
Favorite sport after MMA? Weightlifting.
Bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bodybuilding.
Favorite athlete of all sports, any sport?
Of all sports. I really got into Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Nice.
Like his mentality with training and even like water. I remember I really got into. He was saying he drinks so much water. So man, I used to get so into drinking water and staying hydrated. And so yeah.
Kobe's
or maybe Floyd Mayweather too, right?
Floyd Mayweather, of course. Yeah.
Because he's like the best, and he's so
Undefeated.
Sometimes I think about. Sometimes I wish I would have researched him more and done more of the things he did. Like no matter where, if he was at a club, he'd just run home. I wish I would have things like.
And he never drank alcohol.
Yeah. Just run places. Like like just do that, right? Like get that crazy about it.
Yeah. So even though you're enough crazy, but let me get a extra level crazy.
More crazy. Exactly. Like,
I love
how can you get tired? Like you're always working, you're training, right?
You're too focused and busy on your goal.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
Who would you say is your biggest idol throughout life?
Biggest idol throughout life. Gandhi.
Nice. Gandhi. Favorite movie?
Just kidding. I don't know. Warren Buffett. He's pretty good.
Oh, of course. Yeah, one of the most successful individuals ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll probably go with him. I'm sorry, Gandhi.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie. When I think about it, just because you said favorite movie, and the first thing I thought about was The Bronx Tale.
Oh, with Robert De Niro?
No. It's what's the name? Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, isn't Robert De Niro the dad?
No, not that. Not. Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's the dad driving the bus.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a crime thriller. I like that movie. It's cute.
Really good. Really.
I used to watch it all the time.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I just rewatch it.
Is there a reason why? Because it's the story.
Yeah, I think the story. I was super into like mafia guys back when I was young.
Everyone was.
Yeah, exactly. You know. Yeah, that's a great movie. Although, you know what one movie I used to watch before every fight. Like, I'd be in my hotel and I'd watch it at least night before, or even sometimes multiple times that week. Was Pursuit of Happiness.
Really? From Will Smith?
With Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful story, man. Beautiful, man.
I get so motivated.
Yeah. It's like a perfect mix of motivation and being emotional because it is a very motivating story, but it's also sad in the beginning and just everything. It's a beautiful movie, man.
Yeah, that movie, I could rewatch that all the time.
Yeah. Dream vacation spot.
Dream vacation spot. I don't know. On a beach in Florida.
Nice. Yeah. Sunny weather, huh?
Yeah, sunny weather, good burgers around. Not too far.
Not far, so you don't have to walk too much.
Well, it's not even a far flight from Canada to Montreal. It's like a 3.5 hour flight.
Florida, yeah.
So the less time I spent in the air, the better.
Of course, yeah.
The Bahamas are good too. It's like 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Okay, last question.
But it depends. Yeah, it also depends. Like, I don't know.
Of course, I think the longest flight I did was from Houston to Rio de Janeiro. It doesn't seem long, but it's like 12 hours.
So long. And it's not, Rio de Janeiro is cool, but the beaches but it's not like,
Yeah, no, but I've been to Miami like 4 or 5 times. Miami is really beautiful, man. Really
Yeah, Miami is
nice.
different too.
Yeah.
I mean, it also like depends like where in South Florida.
Yeah.
Miami is, for instance, Miami Beach, for instance, compared to Deerfield Beach, which is about an hour away. It's a bit different than.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've only been in Florida. I've only been to Miami, but I always like the vibe because it's the same weather as if you were in Cuba, let's say, but it's American system.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I always found.
That's
really
what I
nice
like about it.
about Miami, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Real life.
that's why I say Florida, because it's not too far. You still have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And plus during yeah, I still have Wi-Fi, exactly. And plus during COVID, Florida was open. While everyone in North America was closed, Florida was open, man. They didn't care.
Yeah.
So I always loved that.
Yeah,
Okay, so
absolutely.
last question. Messi or Ronaldo? Ronaldo, you every single time I ask a MMA fighter, Messi or Ronaldo, they always say Ronaldo. I'm a big Messi fan. Big.
But Messi, yeah, don't mess with Messi, because I just say Ronaldo because I've seen him more in the news.
Mm-hmm.
Although when Messi, he won recently, right? His first FIFA, or
World
he won
Cup.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very happy.
Yeah, he deserved it.
I just think Ronaldo's more popular.
Yeah, he is. And he's more like in front of the camera, doing podcasts, interviews.
They should do a one-on-one game.
Messi and Ronaldo?
Why don't they do that?
Yeah, well, because it's not like MMA. In soccer, you can, because it's 11v11. So maybe if someone is better at 1v1, he's not going to be necessarily a better player. You know what I mean?
One-on-one, man. One-on-one.
Fucking one-on-one.
There's one ball, 2 guys, 2 goals.
Let's finish it off like that. Who's the best player?
Whoever has more control of the ball and score.
That's true. Mirsad, thanks a lot, man. I hope it wasn't too long,
Thank you so much, man.
We did a lot. I hope you had fun. Thanks a lot for coming on my podcast,
I appreciate it. No, thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure.
A lot.
And thank you for that.
I hope I can meet you once in real life.
Absolutely.
When I come to Montreal.
You're not too far away.
I'll be in Montreal soon. I'll buy you some burgers on me.
Let's do it.
Don't worry. Thanks a lot. Fala ti puno, brate.
Fala tebi, čuvaj se i
ti, brate.
Opet i čućemo se. Kad god treba nešto, samo zovi.
Super, i ti isto, brate. Ako si kad Ottawa, Gatino, samo zovi. Sretna nova godina opet. Sve najbolje. Thank you guys for listening. Mirsad, see you soon. Take care, boy.
Ciao.
Take care. Bye, man.